All right, everyone, we are officially recording the first episode of the 2020-2021 school year for Morning Roast. With us, we are joined by Mr. Richardson. Mr. Richardson, welcome. How are you, my friend?
Slowly dying inside, but aren't we all?
You
And
look
that's
like
all
you're
we
living
have
life
today,
with that
everyone.
shirt
We'll
and
see
that
you next
hair.
time. Oh, my goodness, Mr. Richardson.
Yeah. Let's just say I'm wearing the shirt of where I want to be, but inside it's like dark and cloudy and dead. So I'm trying to project happiness out into the world.
I'm really sorry to hear that. Well, let me say this. Maybe this will help brighten your day. I was talking to Miss Wold earlier before you jumped on, and I got to tell you, I, in some ways, like to live vicariously through your hair. My friend, it is most impressive, and I can never achieve even close to that level of volume. So hats off to you. Well done. And
Thank you.
keep that dream alive.
I'm excited to see its
This
full potential. Like, it's not even halfway yet.
COVID hair. So I have made a goal to myself that I will cut it once we go back to school. So as soon I haven't not cut it. I literally cut it as soon as we right before we left for COVID last school year, and I will cut it again when we return. So
I think I should do that because I was looking at my hair and it's longest I think it's ever been. Even in high school, I grew it out really long, and before my wedding, I grew it out long. It's just so long now, and you wouldn't tell because I put it up because it's just ridiculous now. But I don't know.
I thought about growing it out too. Mrs. Menenberg said no. Mrs. Menenberg said no to me growing my hair out. So that's why, Adam, I got to live out vicariously.
You do need a man bun.
Good on you, Menenberg. I mean, your hair barely looks good on you now. With longer hair, it's just more to hate.
That hurts. That hurts so much, you know.
You're not chill enough for a man bun. I don't think you could.
Oh, I would never do a man bun. Believe me, that would never, ever happen. But in college, I did have a little Frodo Baggins thing happening. I'm not going to lie to you people.
I think we're going to need photographic evidence.
I could probably supply that, but I don't know if I want to give my students any ammunition. They have enough by my
Menenberg,
work.
will you share your mug with us?
Yes, I will. My mug says the worst, or rather the worst, from, of course, John Ralphio, Parks and Rec. There was a 2020 edition, but I was telling Miss Wold that I like to keep things as broad as possible. What do you think, Adam?
That is freaking amazing. That is fan-freaking-tastic. John Ralphio is possibly one of my greatest inspirations in life. Like, actually, I'll be honest, Mona Lisa is more my inspiration. Like, his sister is like,
money
please.
So good. So good. All right, Richardson, what do you got? What are you drinking out of?
I'm boring. I have green pattern. Green pattern. Green is my favorite color. It's actually my wife's mug. She had a set that were all like different colors and patterned, and then she gave the set away, but I said I want the green one. So now we have one mug left from like a whole set. So I'm boring. I'm sorry. What about you?
Well, you have the shirt and the hair to make up for it,
Yeah.
So we'll let it go.
You have to have something that's like neutral.
I have two things to share. Well, my mug, it says Student Tears on it. And then it's got a lot of stickers like this one. It says, surely not everybody was Kung Fu fighting. And every single one of my freshmen who see it, they go, yes, Wold, everyone was Kung Fu fighting. And I think, you weren't there. You were not there. You weren't even born when this song happened.
Also, you're a freshman. Come on, people.
But then I have this. I got this today. It's a little sleep suit. This used to be Horner's as well, because I'm having a baby girl in March. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have a baby, and it's going to fit in here. She's going to be so cute. I'm so excited.
Mr. Richardson, I got to ask you, I think everyone's wondering the same thing. Do you or do you not have an outfit that is similar to that in your own size?
You know, I do have a onesie, but it is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle onesie, and I only wear it at certain events throughout the year, aka Halloween. So that is it.
Well, we have that to look forward to. Well, speaking of pop culture and holidays, I suppose, our topic for today is celebrity culture. And we have Mr. Richardson here because he is something of a self-proclaimed expert in all things celebrity. And myself, of course, am famously out of touch. So I thought we'd start with this question, Mr. Richardson, and we can all chime in about this, is why do you think that we as a culture actually care about celebrities?
You know, before I answer this question, I do think that it's so fitting that we talk about this today because just yesterday it was announced that Keeping Up with Kardashians is going to film its final season.
That is exactly what Menenberg told me today. He's like, I can't believe we're doing this when the Kardashians said this, but I think he said it for completely opposite reasons that you're going to say it.
Yes.
You know, but you think about it, and it's like, could 2020 give us a break? Like, first you take our freedom, and then you take away Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Like, do you want us to have no happiness? Like,
how long has that show been on, Mr. Richardson?
Oh, how many years? It's been a long time.
It's like 12 still going. I didn't know it was still, they were still making episodes.
You know, I think 2 seasons ago, I had one of the best Keeping Up with the Kardashians moments. It's that famous meme where Kim breaks down and she's like, you don't know how to have a job. Like, you wish that you could do the things that I do, but you don't. It's just great. It's fantastic.
That was the season. I disagree with you there. I think that show is probably one of the worst things that's ever happened to our culture. Easily.
Let's dissect it a little bit, Mr. Menenberg. Let's go into that. People care about celebrities because as Americans, from the beginning of America, we've always cared about the American dream. And celebrity culture is, I think, the ideal American dream. It's getting famous, having lots of money, and basically living a life of privilege without having to really do much about it. So I think a lot of people care about celebrities and project themselves onto celebrities because in many ways, the celebrity lifestyle, especially the self-made celebrity, is the current American dream. So, boom.
Okay, but going back to the Kardashians, in what way are they self-made celebrities?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, the money is not like, the money wasn't inherited, but the only reason why they're really famous is because they took what they had and made a really crappy TV show out of it. And honestly, like, if you think about like YouTube nowadays and, you know, the whole creator culture there, that's people taking their resources and making basically the same thing of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, just with less money. So
okay. I just don't get why people care about them at all. I didn't know they were still on TV. I thought people were just keeping up with Instagram. I just don't get it. I don't think that they're funny or smart or interesting at all. They just have money.
It gives you something to hate, though, as well. Like, you don't have to care about them. You don't have to like them. I despise them. Like, absolutely despise everything they stand for. But at the end of the day, there's something therapeutic of watching people you hate and their stupid lifestyle and just being able to laugh at it. So, I don't know.
I was thinking, and that's even though they have all this money and fame, I just feel like there's no way that they're happy, because if you look at their physical appearance, it changes all the time. Like, at some point,
that's unhealthy.
They're going to stop looking human, and they're going to look grotesque because they're already like that one dress she was in where her waist was itty bitty. Like, that's not realistic. That's insane. And so that's what I'm looking for, is when I am aging. Like, I may not age most gracefully, but my mom looks pretty young. And so I'm like, okay, so maybe I'll be able to stave off wrinkles for a little bit, but at least I won't look like a Barbie doll.
Mm-hmm.
Life goals right there, my friends.
I guess here's my thing, Kate. Like, you hate the Kardashians, and my guess is you're not too...
I don't think I hate them. I just don't care about them at all.
But then how do you know about that dress? That's the thing.
I don't know about that dress.
Because at some point, like, you hear about the stuff that they do. Like, there's no stopping it. At some point, there's a news article, and I'm like, what they do? Oh, they wore something. Oh, and so but like I could not tell you all their kids' name. I know one kid's name is North.
Terrible.
That's it. I don't know anything else.
Beautiful name. I love that name. Northwest. How more iconic than can you get? Besides Blue Ivy, of course. But Blue Ivy Carter, she's on another level. So it's
I think that's in one of our questions, probably with celebrity names. It probably should be in there. So I guess the next question is, let's skip down to the third one. It says, should celebrities influence our decisions in any way? And I'd like to hear from both of you about like this celebrity name phenomenon. Like, why is it that you think celebrities have to pick these most bizarre and upsetting names for their children? Miss Wold, especially as somebody who's about to have a human being. I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
Well, I don't know. For me, being named like a name where it's not that fantastic, I feel like that's why they want to stand out, is they want their kid to be like, their name is Apple. No one's gonna be Apple whoever until it's after them. So they're like groundbreaking. And I think people get so upset about names, but at some point every name was a new name and people were like, George. It just had to have happened. And so I feel like, names change all the time. They go in and out of style. And for me being a teacher, I wanted to pick a name of a student that I haven't had a student of, and that won't be on the popular like top 20 list. And I think I have a name for that. Yeah. But in terms of like listening to celebrities, I don't know about that, but I feel like because they do have privilege and they do have a platform, that using their voice can be a good thing. Like when celebrities speak out about politics and everyone says like, stay in your lane and stick to acting. Like Meryl Streep, when she said whatever she said at multiple award ceremonies, like she's using her platform to influence people. And that's where I think that's okay to listen to. It's okay also to like put some thought into it and do research and not only take their opinion as like gold. But I think like stuff like that is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Speaking Richardson, of which, do you agree or disagree?
Oh, 100% agree. Speaking of Meryl Streep, if anyone watching has not seen her Golden Globe speech that she gave a few years back, hers and Oprah's are both some of the best acceptance speeches I think I've ever heard. And like, not only were they inspiring, but very educational and like they did not shy away from politics, but in a way that was like, you could tell it was well researched, and it was just phenomenal. So you would appreciate it, Menenberg, as you teach speech, right? You teach public speaking.
Teach speech, but I am going to be the outlier here and disagree about the import of celebrities' opinions on any subject. Here's my listen. You already mentioned this, and here's why I say they come from a point of view of extreme privilege. And it's not that they aren't entitled to their opinions. I 100% think everybody's entitled to their opinion. But if I'm a free-thinking, objective, somewhat sentient being, I don't feel like that should be my source of guidance necessarily, unless I'm looking at a subject perhaps like acting or fashion perhaps, or I don't know.
Well, what about politics? But then you're pigeonholing celebrities that do things. So like Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher, who have done things to like help out other people.
Wait.
No, I'm not saying never. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying as a rule, I would not be like, hey, I don't know what I should do about voting. I don't know who I should vote for. Who's Meryl Streep voting for? You know what I mean? I would go to somebody who's closer to my sphere of influence, closer to, me personally, as somebody I know and respect, rather than some stranger who I've never met or talked to.
Okay. I have a question, though, Menenberg.
Hold on. I got to turn my lights on. Go ahead.
You are putting yourself on this high pedestal being like, celebrities shouldn't speak out, blah, blah, blah.
I didn't say that.
Listen to me. But hold out. So let's think about this. Like celebrities, every human, no matter where you are or who you are, you like I wouldn't say every human, because some people don't have this privilege, but we all speak our opinions, and we all have opinions about things, and we say them out loud to public, and we say them in our spheres of work and our spheres of influence. Right now, Menenberg, you are on a show speaking to your students, and they're hearing your opinions about certain things.
Yes.
Now, just because a celebrity's sphere of influence is much larger than yours will ever be,
Thank you.
because you're not them.
I'm not.
I could hear Menenberg heartbreaking.
Should that make it so that they are no longer entitled to certain opinion, or that they should not express their opinions about certain things just because when they say something, immediately media or their fans then push it out to the world, when right now, as like even us teachers, we might state an opinion in a classroom, and in many ways it's a similar principle. We're stating an opinion and our students will hear it. It might circulate throughout the school. It might circulate to our colleagues. But as a celebrity, your colleagues have this bigger sphere of influence, and then it circulates not just through a school, but through the world. So I guess that's where I'm like, yes, these people are put on a pedestal, and yes, their influence is so widespread. But I would say, I don't know if that's necessarily their fault or they should necessarily stop, because we all do it. It's just that they have a bigger sphere of influence than we do.
Right. I know, I'm not disagreeing with that. And I didn't mean to say or imply that they shouldn't ever say their opinion. That's not what I meant. I'm simply saying that as an audience member, as a member of the public, so to speak, I don't want to be unduly influenced by somebody who lives a life that is diametrically different than mine in almost every way. And so I would rather get my informed opinion from other sources and get advice about certain topics from people that I am closer to and have a much greater connection with personally. Just like I wouldn't go to I wouldn't go to a celebrity for medical advice either. So, they can have a medical opinion, like, I don't know, I'm pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine, for example, but that doesn't mean I'm going to listen to that person on that particular issue. They're certainly entitled to their opinion. We all are, as you said.
About vaccines?
I'm wary of people that turn to celebrities to guide them in many, many of their life decisions. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I agree with that. I actually agree with you about something, Menenberg. I didn't think I would agree with you about a single thing in this whole get together, because
Richardson,
usually your opinions are
pretend that you and I aren't very close friends. I mean, very close.
Very close is putting it a little, like, maybe a little up there more than it is, but we are acquaintances that work together who know each other's names and have a conversation every once in a while.
It's true.
It's true. It's great. But I do agree, like, for me, the only thing that I'm really ever going to get influenced about with the celebrity is, Travis Scott just released the Travis Scott burger at McDonald's, and everyone knows that I'm going to go to McDonald's now and get a Travis Scott burger. So, like, burgers, maybe cosmetics, maybe clothes. Beyond that, I totally get it. Like, don't do your research. Don't vote for whoever because they're voting for whoever. But we all know there's only one real person you should be voting for. So, at least this election. So,
Oh! There's more than two people running. There's a lot of people running for a lot of different positions. I don't know what you're referring to in particular, Mr. Richardson. It's ambiguous. It's unclear.
I think it was meant to be ambiguous because, putting this out to students. Can't tell them who.
Okay, so let me ask you both this. And I don't know if I personally have an answer, so I'm going to listen to you and see I think I know what Richardson's going to say, but who is your favorite celebrity, and what could that person tell you to do that you actually wouldn't do?
We all know who my favorite celebrity is. That's a non-question.
Well, tell the audience. They don't know.
I am a avid Beyonce fan. If you have not seen Black is King, then stop this video. Go watch it. Menenberg, you are the most uncultured person I think I've ever met.
Yeah.
If that's the word we're going to use, then I don't know if that means what you think it means. But all right, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that she's my favorite because I don't know. I think she emanates a lot of very important qualities as well as is extremely talented and has something to say specifically at this time that I think the world really needs to hear. So go watch Black is King. It's super important. But I think if she told me, I don't know, I do take, kind of going back to the previous question, I do take what celebrities tell me with a grain of salt. So I think there are a lot of things that like she could tell me to do and I wouldn't do. Like,
okay, what could she tell you to do that you would do? Like she's right here, right now, saying, Richardson, do this. What would you do that you wouldn't normally do?
She could say like hop, skip, like I don't know, like do anything. Like I don't know. What, like that's such a weird question. Like what would Beyonce tell me to do? Like
okay, so let's say she rolls up to the airport and she's got like I don't know a truck full of furniture. That she needs moved from point A to point B, and she asks you, "Hey, would you mind doing this for me? I really need you to move all of this furniture."
Of course he would do it. And
of course I would do it.
Okay.
I would probably bark and I'd be like,
"This chair."
You have to at least let me take a picture with you or something like that. I would have something out of it, but I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. Totally.
Ms. Wold?
Okay, so I have a lot of celebrities I admire, but I do have a water bottle that Julie Andrews drank out of once, and so I have her DNA. So she might have to be one of the top. And I love her. I don't think she said anything that's like shocking to me. I've read her book Home, but like it was just gorgeous. It was interesting to read her life and career and everything. But I think like any celebrity who is anti-vax needs to stop. Like, stop. You're not a scientist. Stop. Oprah regrets having that person on who said like anti-vax, blah, blah, and she should, because that was a terrible thing to tell people. Like, it shouldn't be up for debate. It's just dumb. So that's what I would not listen if she said to not vaccine my kid.
Fair enough. I don't know if I probably don't have a favorite celebrity by any means, but I think if there's two that I do like and respect, I would say probably like Denzel Washington, maybe Tom Hanks, those types. They've had long-standing careers. They've both won 2 Oscars. They also have had really, really long marriages and have raised like decent human children that are now adults, which are things that I would like to emulate in some way. What's that?
I said Tom Hanks raised 1 decent one and 1 not so decent one. If you've kept up on what his
Wasn't there one that has all the I have tattoo. It's that's really judgmental, Adam. It's hurtful.
Oh, okay. Well, you should just. His other son Chet was just in the news, and you should go research some of it. It's pretty funny what that son is doing right now. It's ridiculous.
Well, okay, long-standing marriage for at least. I think it is his second marriage, but it is admirable that amidst all that fame and success, that they're able to have some semblance of normalcy in their life, and that I can at least respect. How's that?
Valid.
But if they asked me to do something, like if they asked me to help them move, I don't know. I mean, I got two.
Come on! If Tom
Hanks was like, my back, like it's not good. I shouldn't be doing that sort of thing.
If Tom Hanks was like Menenberg, you're the only one that can help me move this furniture. It's Tom freaking Hanks. You're not gonna say no to Tom Hanks.
I'd be a little judgmental. I'd be like, why can you not hire movers? Like, you have Toy Story money somewhere. Like,
okay. How about this? How about Tom Hanks is like, look, Menenberg, can you grab the other end of this table? I need your help moving this, and he's doing it with me. Sure, normal guy thing to do. Help each other. But just
all by yourself.
Down, like eating chips and salsa. Menenberg, no, over there to the left a little bit. Not going to be my thing.
I do that. Can you imagine how much like people would pay for you to be like, oh yeah, I helped him move once, and he was such a slob, just getting chips and salsa all over his shirt. Like, It'd be so
drag Tom
entertaining.
Hanks
You'd have your 15 minutes of fame right there. You go on like
that. I don't want that noise. If someone's gonna like interested in
whatever,
me,
you go on a
because
real talk show.
then sorry, see ya. Next.
You would go on a real talk show, tell your story, and then you'd come back here to do this and be like, oh my God, it's so different from that time I was on The View. They gave me a mug. Like, did I show you my View mug?
Okay, just for the record, in case anyone cares, I don't think I would necessarily accept that invitation if they offered me a mug or to be on that show.
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
I am too. I am long-term betting that if The View ever like discovers us on YouTube and they're like, come talk about Stovetop on The View, yeah, right, you wouldn't be like, oh, I'm the first one on the plane.
I'd think about it. I guess
Bullshit.
I'd think about it. We'll see.
They would pay for your ticket, you'd be there. Like you absolutely.
That's true. Free travel, that is enticing. I like that.
You'd be in the hotel room and you'd be like,
I retract my earlier statement. Thank you for setting me straight.
You can go sit down with Whoopi Goldberg. Come on. Who wouldn't want to go have coffee with Whoopi Goldberg?
Whoopi did EGOT.
Yeah.
She did EGOT.
She's fabulous. I love her.
That's impressive.
I don't know any of the other ones. I know John McCain's daughter, but I feel like they steamroll her all the time, and I think that's funny.
That's why she's there, to be that person. There's got to be one. Just like I'm that person for this show, I think.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so last thing I want to touch on before we run out of time, Mr. Richardson, I've noticed in particular with celebrity culture over the years that one fixture amongst celebrity culture still remains like heavily influential in our society, and that is the British royal family. What are your thoughts on the royals and why we should or shouldn't care about who is going to inherit a throne that doesn't really matter? Your thoughts?
That's an interesting, because out of celebrity culture, that's actually like I think that they're fantastic and I do love keeping kind of up to date, but they're not like my cup of tea.
Good work there. I like that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I don't know. I think that I don't know. I guess it's kind of like that why not type thing. Like if you're like keeping up with like American celebrities who literally are doing nothing as well, but like we know their kids and their like what they're currently doing with their lives, and there's the tabloids and all that stuff. Like why not? Like why not follow the royal family? Like they have more money. They technically run a country, so it's like it's honestly one of the most entertaining reality television shows you can watch. Like it's real life. Like
they for the record, they do not run the country. They have almost no political power.
Quotation marks around that.
Okay, double quotes on that one. They don't have power. They do have a lot of land and money, though. Miss Wold, what do you think about the royals?
Well, I went to Windsor Castle a couple years ago, and the Queen was there, and she did not come out to say hello. So I found that to be a little rude.
That's a lot rude. That's very rude.
I don't know. I've always, when I was little, I loved the idea of being a princess and ruling everything and wearing all the ball gowns and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I wasn't the type to like wake up at 2 a.m. and watch the wedding. And I remember when Princess Diana died and my mom was watching on the news, and it seemed like it had gone on forever. And I was kind of like, why do we care about this woman so much? And I get it. I guess it's like the fantasy. It's the same as celebrities. Like they're living this cool life. They have all this privilege. They have what I want. I want power and prestige, and so.
That's why you became a teacher. Hello. I mean,
yeah.
Tons of both of those things.
I was like, how can I inflict rule and authority upon people? I'll be a teacher.
Obviously, that's so obvious. Well,
you're the queen of your classroom.
During that last royal wedding that I kind of came to where I'm at on the royals. I genuinely don't care about what they're doing. However, I do understand a little bit of the appeal. And so Mrs. Menenberg isn't like by any means obsessed, but she's interested on some level. And my father-in-law pointed this out to me. She said, it's really no different than you being a fan of the Seattle Seahawks or whatever sports team or other hobby that you have. And I was like, dang it, he's right. Like, what's the difference? It doesn't, like, the Seahawks winning or losing a Super Bowl or a game or here and there, it doesn't necessarily change my day-to-day. Like, it's not influencing what I wear to work or what I say in my, it doesn't really change what I do, but I enjoy it. So it's kind of like that. That's how I've arrived. That's where I've come to on even some of the celebrity stuff. I just don't want to be unduly influenced by people that are not actually in my life. That's where I've kind of concluded, I think.
What we should
in the dark. I'm in the shadows.
He left.
He does not like
I think that on one of your next episodes, Menenberg, we should all sit down and react to one whole episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We're going to sit down.
Yes!
We're going to watch an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and you are going to react to it.
I love reactions. I love reacting to things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if you can get through a whole episode before turning it off.
I don't know if I could, and I certainly don't know if I could without throwing up, and no one wants to see that.
You're throwing up so juggly.
You gotta hold it so it doesn't get everywhere.
I would bet that you couldn't make it through one. Like, I would literally bet you that you would probably, like, out of principle have to, like, turn it off halfway through or something.
I don't know if it's a matter of principle. It's nausea. It's nausea is what it is.
I think you could watch it, but I think at the end you could not tell us anyone's name. Like, maybe one person, but I think you would just be guessing on all of them.
So after all these years, do they, like, still do the reality show thing where they say who it is, like, when they're talking?
Sometimes, yeah.
That's helpful. That would be helpful because I don't really know. I don't know if I could get through one, and I know I don't know because I have sat. It has been on, and I've been in that room, and I've not sat through that. I can't do it. It's just.
Let's do it. I'm so down. I'll get the popcorn.
Can we watch the episode where she loses her diamond earrings? Because I don't know anything except for that clip.
Favorite episode.
I've only seen that where she's sobbing and her sister goes, "Kim, people are dying." That part's funny. I will say that part is funny.
Yeah. Or we could watch the one where they have to have an intervention with Courtney about her therapist because her therapist is feeding her lies. It's very intense.
Lies about what?
Okay, so we have to make a game of it though if we ever do this because we can't make this like a drinking game kind of show, but we could make it a facepalm kind of show, right? How many times is Menenberg going to facepalm during this episode? I would assume it would be in the dozens though. In a what is it, 40-minute episode?
Get a little counter. I think that could be funny.
I just be like over and over and over. I'm in. Well,
let's do it.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. Richardson, I think we're all out of time today, but man, that was a fascinating retrospective on our culture and society. I hope it's been informative to our viewers, and I hope we can all set similar hair goals to what Mr. Richardson has set out for us. So thank you, of course, again for being on our show. And Ms. Wold,
it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I loved it.
Well, we'll have to do it again sometime. And in the meantime, you two have a great rest of your remote learning week, and perhaps we'll see you in the building. All right. We'll see you later.